The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's all. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see as well. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Alright, cool. Thank you. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Korner Booth pregame. Happy Thursday. Hope you all are having a great week. It is officially NFL draft time. We have some amazing guests coming through. Also, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind today. I started with a completely different guest this morning guest feature host as usual. You always have a rotation of guys coming through besides the usual three. I started with one. He texted me at 5 a.m. Totally legitimate reason. Technology sucks. I get it. Shout out to Scotty. He'll be on next week. Second guest literally texted me. I guess it's some kind of emergency at 6:50. But joining me is the OG of OGs, the man, the myth, the legend, the longest-running co-host in Korner Booth history, and the founder of the Tailgate in the Quad podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, bourbon lover, Alabama fan, and just hot take artist, and one of the smartest humans I actually know, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin.
I feel like my takes really undermine the whole smartest person I know thing.
Well, it works for your brand, so you know what? Just roll with it at this point. And
also at least I believe the takes I give. It's not just some disingenuous. This will get clicks.
Yeah, exactly. All righty, and joining us from a attic in Oklahoma, he's in Texas. Sorry, one of the coolest people I know, one of the best co-hosts I've ever had, a Boomer Sooner, a diehard Astros and Patriots fan. This one always kind of crosses my brain a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, Mason Rutch. And, of course, in the far corner, my main man, my boy from college, a struggling Jets fan, the TikTok famous, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Ordazzo.
I guess struggling suffering.
I mean, listen, I named your team as my defense, the Ayahuasca 11. That's a little preview, by the way. We will be doing inspired by me and Kevin's fantasy league that gave us one of the best entertainments of a Wednesday morning I could ask for, or Tuesday morning, actually. We will be doing a NFL nickname segment. We're going to start it off this week. If it succeeds, I promise Scott would run it back for another week next week. So I got about 12, 15 guys. Best nickname wins. We're also talking NBA draft tonight. Obviously, kicks off at 8. We all know who's going first, but 2, 3, 4. One of Kev's tied should be going in the top 3. Brandon Miller, who's a shooter in more reasons than one. Is that joke still in bad taste?
I'm not gonna get too mad about that, but I would like to point out he did not shoot the gun, nor did he give the gun to the shooter.
Fair. This podcast is also brought to you by, I wish it was, by my favorite beer, Two Hearted Ale, getting me through rough days since 2018. All right. Well, as much as it was a rough start to the show, fellas. We're gonna kick it off with the first segment, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, well, nope, that's the wrong. Oh, geez, I'm on a fucking roll today. Oh, come on, man, really? I hate sharing this shit with other people. I swear. Oh, here it is. There we go. It's the first round presented by the folks at MahlerBros.com. By the way, heads up, we got some Mahler Bros Korner Booth merch coming up soon. Maybe some hats, maybe a polo shirt with our logo. We'll let you know. All right. Visit MahlerBros.com, promo code Belly for 15% off some of the comfiest golf attire you could wear. My blue camo golf polo is literally super freaking comfy. I love it. It's tight up top, so it shows off the fact that I actually work out, but it's loose enough down below where I actually don't respect the fact that I probably pound way too many beers than I should. All right, Marlboro's official sponsor of the Korner Booth podcast, Belly Up Sports, and the first round. So first round, fellas, y'all know the drill. Break down all the latest quick headlines going through the list. We'll start with trades because the NBA has been on fire this morning. Last night, we'll talk about because we got a Celtics fan in the room. Marcus Smart on the move. Kristaps Porzingis. It's just such a strange trade. It developed so weirdly. I don't know how you want to start with this thing because I see now that Tyus Jones is somehow now involved in this trade. It's between the Wizards, Grizzlies, and the Celtics. So I guess we'll start off. Kev, you're the Celtics fan here. Thoughts on Marcus Smart being shipped out of Boston?
I kind of figured Smart would be a lifer. He's been here for 9 years. He was here when they sucked. He was here with Isaiah Thomas. He was here with Kyrie. So I thought he'd be here for a while. Obviously a great defensive guard. Last season was not good defensively. He wasn't that good. And I saw somebody saying, oh, the intensity was there. Yeah, the intensity can be there, but you can still suck. I could play basketball very intensely and still get 50 dropped on my head. Like, it doesn't fucking matter how intense you are if you can't do your job. Slightly concerned about Porzingis. Tingus Pingus. He has struggled with injuries. Last year was his best year. Could it be a sign of things to come? Maybe, but I don't know. He's in a weird place because you didn't hear about him in Dallas at all. He was putting up around 20 points consistently. He has his whole career. With the Knicks, he was good when he was like the guy. In Dallas, he took a step back, wasn't as good, wasn't as noteworthy. And then Washington, he had his best year where Bradley Beal was the guy last year. So I don't know. I'm going to say I like it until Pingus is inevitably injured. And then I'm going to fucking hate it. And I'm also going to hate it. I saw some things like, people to replace Marcus Smart with. I'm going to hate it even more if we sign Dylan Brooks to fucking replace Marcus Smart. I don't think we will.
I'm sorry. I cannot picture Kevin rooting for Dylan Brooks. That's just like me trying to root for Zeke Elliott. It just wouldn't roll like that.
I think the Shanghai Sharks will probably create an intense bidding war.
Or the Guangdong Tigers.
Services. Yeah, so I don't know. I like it as of right now.
Anyway, we're getting that Guangdong Tigers reference. Go look up Shaq. Guess where they play. It's maybe the greatest 30 seconds of television I've ever watched in my life. The weirdest thing about this trade is I think I was hoping the Celtics, if just as a basketball fan, got a more physical big man. I did not want them to get Cat one unless we were getting Jaylen Brown. There was no way I would take a Cat deal. Obviously, I know he's not worth Jaylen Brown, so I knew that wasn't going to happen. The other kicker was with the Celtics, your only big man really right now is Al Horford. And it's a bunch of miscellaneous guys like C, B-. I would have loved to see him go get like an A-, B+ big man.
Robert Williams is on the floor. He's an
I know Robert Williams.
No, I was going to say.
I like Robert Williams, but offensively, he's not like.
I just feel like what the issue with Robert Williams is that he can't give you extended minutes. He's one of these guys that's going to hang down low. He's, arguably besides Jaren Jackson in Memphis, probably the best defensive big in the league, I would say. And I think a lot of people would agree with that. But yeah, he's not a guy that's going to play, 40 plus minutes a game. That's not what you're going to get from Rob Will. And so, and I think a lot of people feel like Al Horford's probably going to leave too, because I don't think Al Horford's getting any better at this point in his career. He might stay consistent with what he's got or what he showed, over the past 2 seasons with the, really successful playoff runs that the Celtics have had, but I just don't see him getting any better. So I do agree with your point, Jared. Seeing them add maybe a little bit more physical big man would have been nice to see. It seems like at this point, though, that they're going to continue to roll with the Brown-Tatum duo. Brown's not going to get moved. I don't know. Overall, it seemed like the Celtics won the trade, though. I mean, they got 2 firsts out of the whole thing, too. How did the Wizards not get a first at all in that entire trade? That literally
Part of
makes
the
no
trade
sense.
That literally just blows my brain. I'm like,
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
the
still trying to
Grizzlies
scratch my
won
head.
because the Grizzlies won, because Morant's going to be out 25 games, right? So now you've got someone who can give you extended minutes. Like Kevin said, is going to bring the intensity. He's a veteran guard. He knows what's necessary to contribute to a playoff team. So the Grizzlies, actually, I feel like addressed a key issue that's going to be the case for the first portion of their season. Celtics, I guess you could say kind of upgraded in a way, and they got some picks, both first rounders. But I mean, I don't know what's happening in Washington. It just seems like every single trade they've made. I mean, I guess Poole will be okay, but yeah.
They're not keeping Poole.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Feel
I
like
think
they're going to unload him.
he might get moved later. I mean, he might get moved in the next hour, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think
Poole already got moved.
Wizards are tanking.
Well, I think Kevin.
No, he didn't get moved.
Well, I think Kevin and I are saying just he's going to get moved away from the Wizards.
Yeah.
I think the Wizards are tanking, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're tanking the year after Wemby comes to the NBA." They're not tanking for Wemby. The Wizards are tanking for LeBron James because they know if they get Bronny, LeBron will come.
Yeah.
And worst case was LeBron got one more year left with the Lakers.
I think he maybe has 2 actually, because
I
I think
he
he
1-1.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's correct.
I feel like he would never go into a trade. I feel like
he's-
it's always he wants the leverage always. I don't feel like he's signed a multi-year like that. So
No, but I think he signed a 3-year.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
is there a player option?
Mm.
I think that's what
1-1
there is.
is.
Right, yeah. I think he's locked in for sure this coming year, and they synced it up to where Davis is also having an option in the same year as LeBron. So after this coming season, they have options to either decline and test the market, or they can re-sign and opt back in for one more year. I mean, who knows what ends up happening with Bronny? That's up for discussion, whether or not he will actually be good in the NBA.
Well, we're gonna find out eventually.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Yeah, you're probably right.
Like,
I
I think based on how it's gone, a 40-year-old LeBron is still a solid
He's a-
starter.
Yeah.
Top 20.
I mean, right
player at
now-
41.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I don't think there's any discussion that he's still a top 10 player in the league. I don't think you can name 10 dudes that are better than him right now. I don't think that's true. Now, 2 years from now, I agree, Kevin. He's probably going to fall off a little bit. He's absolutely going to be a starter on a crummy team, whichever crummy team that Bronny goes to, most likely. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like whoever gets him, you're going to add LeBron just so you can sell tickets, just so you can get the fan base interested, and create interest in the team, period. I mean, because in all likelihood, he's going to go to a smaller market too. So at that point, it's just like, just create interest in the team, just get fans to the arena and sell tickets.
Anybody else like kind of in the back of their head wondering like, what if Bronny's like okay, but he's not like amazing? He's like a mid to late round draft pick.
That's what's going to happen.
I know,
Yeah.
and so
He's going to be a high draft pick, regardless.
I think he's a lottery for sure. He'll be a
Yeah.
lottery strictly because of the fact that he's LeBron James' kid. Period. Like,
But no, it's rare in sports to see a player whose father was really good also be really good. And vice versa. If the father wasn't that good, yeah, you probably got a decent chance of the son being very good. Like, look at Klay Thompson. His dad was a good NBA player. Obviously, nothing against him. Klay Thompson.
In baseball,
I
you
mean,
got two. You got
Steph Curry,
the Bonds and the Griffies. That's about it.
The Fielders.
Yeah.
No, they're not on the same level. You will never see a father-son duo meet at the same level. Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Bonds are light years ahead of what their fathers were.
I mean, Bobby Bonds was what, a 5-time All-Star?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and Barry
he
Bonds
was good.
is the greatest baseball player ever
of all time. Yeah. Fair. All right. I stand corrected here.
And Cooper Kupp, his dad was only in Dallas for a cup of coffee, and Cooper Kupp won the Triple Crown.
There you go. Mr. McCarthy. Howdy, howdy. We'll talk football in a little bit, Ryan. Don't you worry. We talked about Jordan Poole. CP3 has been like on a boomerang tour as usual. He's on his way over to Golden State to play with Steph and Clay and Draymond. Who
maybe
player option.
Draymond.
Maybe not Draymond now. So Steph Curry, Chris Paul, fellas, how we feeling? Golden State, Matt, I'll start with you.
I mean, this is another stop on CP3's let's get me a ring before I decide to call it a career tour. I like him better on the Warriors than I did on the Wizards a few hours ago. But just at the end of the day, it's the guy you're throwing in. Maybe this means Draymond's walking, maybe doesn't. At the end, I think this is good for CP3 at the end of the day. I think he's on a much better spot in the Warriors than he was on the Wizards. That's really all I got for him. I mean, the Wizards, I don't know what they're doing right now with their trades.
Fair enough. All right. Kev, any thoughts on CP3, the Warriors?
I have beef with the narrative. I don't hate the move. I'm curious how Curry and CP3 will do in the backcourt. But I have issues with the narrative because whenever an older player jumps around, it's like, oh, he's just ring chasing. He's just trying to get a ring. Like, this isn't good for the league, blah, blah. Chris Paul's kind of doing it, and he's like, because he definitely told the Wizards, like, hey, if you're going to sign me or trade me, give me to a contender. And everyone's like, oh, Chris Paul will finally get a ring, like, great for him. But no, he's ring chasing.
Yeah.
Be consistent with your criticisms.
He better hope he doesn't see Scott Foster again because I don't see a ring coming his way anytime soon. Oh, man. I think honestly, Chris Paul is going to retire without a ring. Because I don't think the Warriors are going to win the NBA title next year. The West is. We talked about this about 2 episodes ago. The West is fucking loaded.
Yeah,
and
I mean, Sorry to cut you off. Continue, Jared.
Honestly, listen, let's here's the perspective, right? We don't know what's happening in Portland. That's a bad one. But like we talked about with our boy Jay Smith last week, his Thunder are only going to get better. My Wolves, when they get rid of that bum Karl-Anthony Towns, are only going to get better. There's a lot of team. Hey, listen.
Well, I mean, off the bat,
give me a dog. Look, don't give me a poodle. All right.
Off the bat, Nuggets, Suns, Grizzlies, Suns, all better. Period. Mm-hmm. Like it's not even remotely close. And Denver is
2 years before the Spurs figure it out.
Right. Thunder are getting better. Rockets are not going to be that far off the Thunder. Rockets are probably 2 years off the Thunder. And it's just like all of these guys are aging with Golden State, right? Mm-hmm. Curry is probably going to be the same. He's going to be great. He's going to be at that all-star level. But it's like Clay's limited. Who knows if Draymond comes back? See, Chris Paul is limited too. So it's like, I mean, is Kuminga just going to, over the offseason, just magically flip the switch and just become this player that you expected him to be when you drafted him in 2020? I don't think so. I personally don't think so. And the Warriors right now have zero depth. None. They're facing the same issue as the Suns.
Fair. Well, before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, joining us now from an attic in Ohio, our resident version of AJ Hawk. This man has been compared to the Neuralink. He's one of the smartest human beings I know. He is a avid football fan and also a giant smartass. Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Renfrow doppelganger and my good friend DJ Stewart.
That might have been your best intro. Yeah, kudos. You're getting pretty good at that. Now you're starting to lock in and not say blasphemy. So good on you. That was one of your
best. I haven't called you Jonathan Gannon in almost 3 months. So, we're good.
Still hurts. Still stings. That doesn't just go away.
Bitch, he lost me a Super Bowl. I don't want to talk about it.
You brought him up, not me.
Well, also, Kev, you had a point about this Jordan Poole and Steph Curry and all this other crap. Rip it.
Oh, I was going to talk about Kuminga. Mason, you didn't hear? Kuminga's 7-2 now, apparently, according to Kendrick Perkins.
Wonderful, man. I just, being a Rockets fan, I despise the Golden State Warriors. I despise everything that's transpired over the past, 7 years now, 8 years now. I can't stand him. And so the day that it all comes crumbling and falling down will just be the greatest day of my life. And so I'm hoping next year they win 30 games. And I will be checking that box score every single night. And when they lose, it'll be a party at mine because I hate the Golden State Warriors. I can't stand them.
Fair enough. DJ, what do you think about, like, right now, obviously, we already touched on the big Porzingis trade before you got here. We're talking CP3, Jordan Poole, Warriors. What's your thoughts on the trade so far, initial, as we get into it with the draft in 30 minutes?
Good for the Wizards for actually getting someone decent in any of these trades. The concern was they're going to end up with no lottery pick and getting rid of every asset they had. So it was literally just going to be the guys. But so at least they got somebody that's young that they could kind of build around, someone who can get you 20 to 25. Still not going to win any games anytime soon, but at least you got something for people to show up. As far as CP3 goes, I honestly don't think he's going to stay with the Warriors past the trade deadline. I feel like they're going to keep him a little bit, play him once a week, just keep him going, make sure he doesn't get injured. And I think they're going to try and see if they can flip him for maybe an actual forward, someone that can actually be above 6'5", because you can't start him, Steph. If you keep Clay, keep Andrew Wiggins, Draymond, like your average height is like what, 6'4.5" at that point. You're not going to match up with a lot of those other teams. So I honestly think they're going to try and flip Chris Paul by the trade deadline next year. I don't think they're going to keep him around much longer because it doesn't really fit. And what are you going to do? Tell Chris Paul to come off the bench? Like that? I don't know. I don't think it's going to last. I don't think he's going to stay there very long.
I agree, DJ. I think that is a very. It's just like, yeah. I think we saw how limited Chris Paul was last year with Phoenix, and he's not getting any better. At this point in his career, he's not going to magically turn things around. So, I mean, maybe the Warriors have a very unique role that they're going to put him in. Steve Kerr's a great coach. Maybe he sees something in this aging Chris Paul that no one else does, and maybe it works. I don't really know. But, maybe they're a 5 seed. Good for them, right? But they're not in the finals mix. They're just not. Simple. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They better average 160 points a game because that lineup's not really stopping a lot of people. And when in doubt, they will put an average Drew Holiday-sized point guard on 3 of those 4 guys and be able to cook. And Draymond's good defensive player, but you can't deal with Jokic. You can't deal with a lot of those other guys. So they better score 160 points a game if they're going to win with that starting 5.
Yeah, no, it's the when they lost to the Lakers last year. I mean, the finals window, it's shut, man. That's it. That was the last chance to make a run. There's no possibility to, change that now. There's just Curry is over the hill. He's still good, but he's not, I mean, they couldn't beat the Lakers. And the Lakers got wrecked by the Nuggets. So it's like, maybe in another scenario they beat the Lakers, but there was no way that they were ever going to compete with Denver. And, even besides Denver, Phoenix is good. Memphis is going to be good for a long time. So it's just, to me, it's just sort of a moot point. It's a nice ad, whatever. Maybe it wins you a handful more games next year than it did last year, but it's not one of these things where it's, Bradley Beal to the Suns, right? Where it's a move that potentially gets them over the hump and puts them in that finals mix.
I think Draymond kind of shut that door when he ran his fist into Jordan Poole's face about a year ago. But yeah, I think it's official.
Yeah, that too. I didn't even think about that, but that's another.
What started that fight, by the way?
I think Poole just
Jordan Poole was not keeping Draymond Green's wife out of his mouth, and because of that, we saw what happened.
Fair enough.
Per source.
Only per source. All right. Finally, we have, of course, the trade that broke earlier this week. We'll bang this one out quick because I think everyone's kind of exhausted by this already. Bradley Beal, of course, finally leaving the District of Columbia, going to the desert with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and now officially the Suns have no bench. So, gentlemen, any reaction on Beal to the Suns? Open base. Anyone want to take first shot?
Well, I think I don't know if they updated or not. I thought I saw like Isaiah Todd, Jordan Goodwin, and Bradley Beal went to Phoenix in that trade. I don't know if it was, I don't know what outlet I was looking at, but what did they get? Oh, that was when they got CB3 Shinmet. they got a shit ton of picks for it. But yeah, like you said, the Phoenix have no bench. It's going to see if they can just rely on the big three of Beal, Booker, and Durant to stay healthy for that season right now. It's I don't know. This has been just banged down everybody's throat for the last couple of days, probably.
Yeah,
Curious.
honestly, I banged the kid I've been training under me, our front desk guy. He's a big Celtics fan, big basketball guy, and he was talking about the trade. I'm like, listen, the only kicker is that now the Suns have officially no fucking bench. And honestly, but they're still going to win 55, 60 games. Why is everyone? It's nothing new, but it's in the playoffs. Can they acquire depth on the bench during the season? That's the kicker to me. If they're actually going to get there and actually do this, so
They're bounced in the first round.
Yeah, I'm with Kevin here. I just feel like, I think it's safe to say, given the 25-game Morant suspension, they're going to be the second seed, barring like a Lakers trade, I would say. And regardless of that, I think they win a playoff series, maybe two. But KD is the X factor here. If he can't get it done, which he hasn't been able to without Steph Curry, I mean, that's your ceiling right there. I don't think they would handle the Nuggets very well. I don't think that matchup would go down for them very well at all. So yeah, zero depth. So I hope all those guys are healthy. I hope no one gets injured, especially in the playoffs, because if one of them goes down, I mean, that's it. That's it. Because you weren't going to compete with Denver anyway. And so, I mean, they just got to hope that all these guys stay really healthy the entire season and that things just kind of, maybe they catch a break or two, really. I think that's what you got to hope for.
I also think the Suns currently don't have enough variety. Obviously, Kevin Durant's a freak of nature. He's one of the best scorers in NBA history, but him, Booker, and Beal really do the same things.
Mm-hmm.
They very similar. Like, they'll each do something a little differently, but they don't really have a defensive X factor on that team. Ayton still might be out the door. So there goes your big man. Maybe they could get some depth in a trade for him, but with that, they're going to get killed in the playoffs.
It's just at this point in time in the NBA, you have to think about if you're in that finals window, right? If that's your goal, you have to set up and build your team around how am I, in the event that we make the finals or Western Conference finals, if you're in the Western Conference, how is my big, or let me put it this way, how am I going to contain Jokic? If that's, and right now that looks impossible. And so if you can't contain Jokic, which DeAndre Ayton wouldn't have if they would have played them, you just simply are not going to win that series. And so it's just one of these weird moves where it's like, yeah, you got better, but at what cost, right? Now they have zero depth. They have basically put all their chips in the middle and just said, look, we're giving this 1-2 more years. We're going to, pay so much money over the luxury tax. And we're just going all out. We're going all out. I'm with you, Kevin. I think Ayton gets moved. I think that's almost given because Vogel, is a defensive-minded coach, and I don't think Ayton is one of these guys that could bang inside and just lock down the other team's big man. And so he's probably going to try and trade for someone who can play in the inside, can defend, and can lock down the other team's best big man.
I want to know between Booker and Beal, who's going to end up playing the point, because neither one of them is really much of a point guard. They're high volume scorers. I know Booker did a little bit last year and had some good success, but can he make that full adjustment and do it for the full season and in the playoffs? Because otherwise that ball is going to get across half court and it's going to stop really quick between the three of them. They got to find a way to move the ball. And I don't know if can Beal adjust his game enough to do that? Can Booker adjust his game enough to do that? A lot less shots, a lot more swing.
Or do they switch to like a hybrid triangle, like where like it's just keep the ball moving, somebody hit an open shot kind of shit.
Right, and because KD is going to be your main go-to scorer, right? He's the best player on that team. He's still a top 5 player in the NBA, barring some kind of weird injury or maybe he just falls off, period. He's still the best player on that team. He's going to be looking for the basketball. He's going to be your number one option. And so, how's that going to work with Booker and another guy who's going to, who is accustomed at the moment to pretty much being the number one option on his team, how he was in Washington. So that is another aspect of it, DJ. And I don't know. Frank Vogel has been tasked with quite a bit in taking that Phoenix job.
All right. All right, I think we've exhausted. So the draft obviously is in about 35 minutes. We'll give you a live update. Who goes first? Who goes second? We'll probably getting done with our NFL nickname segment at that point. But before we get into it, last segment of the day, we have our MLB check-in brought to you by the amazing people at Cannadips.com. Promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off. Biggie bags are in stock. The Rippers are in stock. Matt, of course, is a big fan of the Rippers. I am a big fan of the Biggie bags because I literally walk away with four tins worth of pouches for like $20 less, actually, with our discount. With this discount right here. So check out Cannadips promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off. Applies to every purchase you make on the store. So there you go. All right. And we'll be checking quick updates. The All-Star voting has commenced and is well underway. We have our two first players locked in. Congratulations to Ronald Acuna and Shohei Ohtani. We're both guaranteed roster spots. Some other notable names for the AL were Vladdy Guerrero, Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, Randy Rosarena, Yordan Alvarez, Kevin Killmeyer, and Bo Bichette, Corey Seager, Matt Chapman, and Joe Young. Good to see some Texas Rangers on there because their team's playing very well this year. In the NL, this is one I'm very excited. Got two Diamondbacks are in the final four for All-Star voting. Got shout to my boy, the Rookie of the Year candidate, probably Rookie of the Year winner, Corbin Carroll and Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Michael Harris, Mookie Betts, all in for outfield because Ronald Acuna obviously got the first spot. Sean Murphy, Freddie Freeman, Matt Olson, hitting champion to be Luis Arez, Ozzy Albies, Arenado, Austin Riley. The usual suspects in the NL added a few Diamondbacks. That's basically on the other side of the ball. I cannot wait for the All-Star game. It's one of those weird traditions I actually really enjoy. The home run derby is always fun as shit too. So I can't wait. MLB All-Star Weekend to me has always been kind of a cool thing in the middle of the summer, especially because generally during the offseason it gets a little slower. But yeah, it's cool to see a bunch of new names and a bunch of young guys. It's cracking up that obviously Judge is going to make it, even though he's been injured for the past 4 weeks, Matt.
He's not going to play in the All-Star game.
Yeah, I know, honestly.
He just started pool therapy. So.
All right, any reactions to All-Star votes? Mason, I know you got your boy Jordan all there. So
yeah, I'm with Matt here. I mean, it's seeming. I guess this injury news dropped probably 2 weeks ago, and then last week they basically said he's out 4 weeks. So I don't know. I mean, this game is late next month. Maybe there's a chance that he comes back. I think it's kind of 50-50 right now. I mean, we'll see. I think if he gets in, he's going to have to play a little bit before that to get some votes. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Astros are in a very interesting place, and they're going to have to make a couple trades if they want to make a deep run in the playoffs right now.
I think they said the Astros, the Yankees, and I think there's another team like the Dodgers and somebody else are teams that are only maybe 6 games or 6 or 7 games over 500 as of a day or so ago. And it was just teams last year that were heavily in first place of their division. So it's just interesting to see what one season can do for you and what injuries can do for you. But
also, some of these teams are getting screwed by these new rules, which is hilarious.
Yeah, well, Yankees obviously we all know they don't like to have fun. They don't, they don't want Stanton or Judge or anybody in the home run derby anymore, and they're not going to let Judge play in the All-Star game because of his little toe sprain. So I wouldn't count him in as.
Well, it's another reason why I root against the all New York teams because you guys aren't fun. Also, fuck the Mets and paying $300 million to finish 5 games under 500. I'm that annoying little small market fan who's just chirping because his team's in first place.
I fully understand the Yankees not wanting Judge in the home run.
There's
so many guys who they fuck up their swing for the rest of the year because they're just trying to hit bombs against slow pitch.
True. I mean, it's weird. With the home run derby, I love seeing guys who are Like last year, watching Julio Rodriguez put up a fucking show was awesome. And I'd never bet so much random money on a fucking non-game event. But I'm hoping like my boy Christian Walker enters. I mean, he's like top 10 in home runs right now. Fuck it. Him and Yordan Alvarez go swinging. I'd be up for that because the two of them just have ridiculous bat speed.
Yeah.
That ball's
Well,
flying out of the fucking yard.
Problem with the home run derby as of the last handful of years, like Kevin was saying, is that teams are obviously catching on now. They don't want their high profile power hitting athletes in the home run derby fucking up their swing and timing for the rest of the year. So then you're getting a lot of, you've gone from guys like, having Cano in every year and, Fielder and all the like Hamilton, all the old school big time hitters like that to like, now you get like some random guy that's got about 15 home runs on the year gets in that you'd never heard of. And sometimes it works and makes a big name for himself. I mean, I know we all heard of Julio Rodriguez last year, but after the home run derby, everybody knew his name. Now it's just a lot of guys that bat lifetime 25 home runs on the season are just getting in. So it's just not as, I think, epic as it used to be. But it just seems like you said, Kevin, was just fucking up with the swing and the timing and everything. And now a lot of guys aren't doing that anymore unless it, some have said I'll come back if it's my own stadium kind of scenario.
I'm excited. I still think there's still like kind of like the All-Star game, the MLB kind of has a weird magic to it where like they just do it better. Like NBA All-Star weekend, I just don't care. I haven't tuned in 5 years. The Pro Bowl is dead. The NHL All-Star game is kind of fun, but like MLB just has had a formula. It works. Having the guys mic'd up is fun. And the Home Run Derby is always a fun Monday. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I honestly, I just like seeing – I love also the fact that we're seeing a lot of younger guys getting votes this year. Like this new class of guys. There's no more like Justin Verlander or Max Scherzer getting votes. No, it's young dudes. And obviously I haven't announced pitchers yet, obviously, but – I just named 2 pitchers, but I'm loving that like they're actually like there's a lot. That one year where the Giants fans voted so much that you had like guys like Brandon Belt getting fucking votes was like ridiculous. So it's kind of cool like seeing that like this year. It's like a very well balanced all-star class.
I know the commissioner put a rule in saying like the home run or the all-star game, I think going forward is going to have a legend on each conference is going to represent, like I think last year they had Miguel Cabrera and Albert Pujols. Are they still doing like they're putting in a veteran every home run derby or whatever? Like last year they put.
He's put Evan Longoria in because he's been hitting nothing but fucking dingers this year. I think he's like he's less than 50 hits this year, and like 12 of them are home runs. It's hilarious.
This would be the year I think they would throw Miguel Cabrera into the derby if they were doing what they did last year with Pujols.
Yeah. All right, and Kev, DJ, Mace, any thoughts before we roll out of here? We get into some football.
I'm good.
Fuck Chime Bloom.
He sucks. Yeah, I'm with you, Kevin.
All right,
Fucking
folks,
garbage.
it's the main event, obviously. This is what I advertised, and this is also shot to me and Kev's Fantasy League. And shout out to Sleeper app for an awesome function of being able to nickname your players. Now, we're going to go through all the players in this list, and the funniest nickname wins, obviously. So everyone's going to get a crack at this. I tried to doing is maybe like we do a rotation, but I think we all can like come to a democratic agreement here to each name. So we're going to start off with the easy one. We're going to go with the league MVP, NFL and Super Bowl MVP, thanks to those refs. Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Mahomes. So I'm gonna say Kermit the quarterback. Not the best one, but we'll get it started here. DJ, you got a name for me?
Well, considering you care about him so much, I'm going to call him curly-headed Jared.
Boy.
All right, Kev. All right, you're up.
Bob Weinstein, brother of Harvey Weinstein, who didn't do sketchy shit.
Fair.
Bob didn't, to my knowledge. Harvey did.
All right, Matt.
I don't know, man. He reminds me of obviously he reminds me of Kermit the Frog with his voice, but you ever look at him and you just think like Stinky Peterson from Hey Arnold? I don't know why, man. It's just the long head that just really gets me. So I'm going to call him Stinky Peterson.
All right, Mace, finish it up.
I don't have a name, but I mean something to do with the fact that he loves ketchup and puts it on everything. That's very weird. So,
All right, we're gonna go to the quarterback. He beat the Super Bowl. My name for him in our league obviously was Philly's savior because that's basically what he is. Because that city's going to shit in a handbasket. I'm gonna say QB sneak on go.
Caramel Mike Vick. You got Vanilla Vic. Now you got Caramel Vic.
Mocha Vic.
Mocha Vic.
Okay, show your Bama boy some love.
I don't think I can beat Mocha Vic.
That was
I don't know. I can't think of one. He's also just such a nice person too, so I don't want to make fun of him.
So I have a dude I knew who I used to work with. He went to Oklahoma. He actually had a class with Jalen. He goes, dude, he's the nicest motherfucker ever. You can't say anything mean about him. He's just
Yeah, I've met him, and he's so nice.
All right. Anybody got a nickname for Jalen? Because this one's kind of getting a little terrible right now. I feel bad.
I'll take the low-hanging fruit and just go with Hurts so good.
I mean, this is gonna hurts is my fantasy name, so I won with that last year.
He's just such you can't hate the guy that you just feel bad giving him any sort of nickname that makes fun of him because then you just feel like utter shit afterwards.
Fair enough.
Maybe
all right,
Hurts
we're gonna go.
Like, there's not a whole lot there that can be painful.
All right, Mace, you're the Sooner here. Anything for Mr. Hurts, or we want to go on to our next one?
No, I mean I got nothing but good things to say about him. So
this is on me for picking a well-liked player.
And he's from Houston too. So I mean, I got two things to like about him. So
fair enough. All right, we're gonna go to a more hated quarterback, at least in the media's eyes. Mr. Aaron, Matt's new single caller. I will open the floor up here. I will not start. Let me hear some names, Mr. Rogers.
Jesus, that's all I got.
Con Air.
Because he is our savior, and I mean the Jets.
How about Sideshow Freak? How about that?
It's also fair.
I'm gonna go with Heather because he doesn't talk to his family.
It's
a Bob joke. I'm back, baby.
I deleted the banner. I'm fucking pissed now.
I'm just gonna call him the doctor.
Heather's great. Just the explanation.
All right. I'm gonna say Dr. Ayahuasca that was not great. All right, we're gonna go with here we go, guys. White Dak Prescott.
If only everybody in the world knew about Chris Webby. This man was like a preppy Mac Miller without all the tattoos. I don't know.
Nah, he was more of a hood rat, Mac Miller. He was tried to be like that white boy who hangs around JV teams and fucking smokes way too much weed. Chris Webby was a different animal.
Kirk Cousins is like a suburban hood rat Mac Miller, like somebody that thinks they're tough in their thug life, but they live in the suburbs of a very nice town.
Fair enough. And we got one for Kirk Cousins here.
We're in a graveyard slot. He's the opposite of prime time.
I was going to say something about prime time too.
I'm just going to call him Riff Raff.
All right.
Oh, man.
My Chemical quarterback.
Yes. Oh, you son of a bitch. I was just thinking of things with fucking mascara and alternative rock. Yep, there we go. Oh my God.
Just something about Derek Carr screams Ford Pinto, and I don't know why.
I think
Ford Pinto?
I don't know why.
But it makes sense. I don't understand why. It all ties in.
I stand by that, but I can't explain why.
I mean, my coworker who's a Saints fan calls him Toy Story because of he looks like Sid.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I watch him when he's playing and I just look at his face and I'm like, he's sweating and I'm just trying to see if I can get some sort of like running mascara because there's just no way that's naturally that dark around his eyes and he's not wearing anything.
I mean, another one's no playoff wins, one broken leg.
He's
more
a
MVP
mean girl.
votes than Russell Wilson.
He's a mean girl. That's what I'm gonna give him.
See, I like that one. That one would have won this one. So here, I think Kevin actually gets the winner there over My Chemical Quarterback. I also cheated because that's my actual name for him on my fantasy team because he's my backup. All right, and this is a start on our boy Teddy's team. Kevin, cover your ears.
I have one, but it's
no holds barred. Okay, listen, this segment has been tail spinning, and we're trying to get it off the ground here. So I'm gonna go with lab experiment.
No, man. Tua, my head hurts. Violoa. I don't know.
Bring in the jar of jelly.
I referred to him as my sweet Hawaiian prince, but I might go with Dr. Bennett Amalu. He's the man who
from
famously started diagnosing concussions in CT.
Tell the truth.
So I might have to go with that, even though I feel bad doing it.
Mace, you got one?
I don't even know, man. I don't want to mention like the concussions. I feel like that's wrong.
That's the whole point. It's a comedy.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Fellas, we gotta start
it's
hitting
just Tua. How many fingers am I holding up? Violoa.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
That's what they did to me when I was concussed. They're like, all right, how many fingers? I'm like 3, 4, 5,
All right.
1. I'm like, all right, you're good. Get out there.
All right, we'll switch up from quarterbacks. MAGA.
I got the same thing.
Here I am.
White quarterbacks. I hit black quarterbacks harder.
Trump 2024.
Q.
Proud boy.
Don't talk about January 6th.
Well, that rules out mine then.
All right. Now, you know what? Fuck it. We're bringing out the big guns.
Social
Harvey
distancing.
Weinstein, brother of Bob Weinstein.
Oh my god. All right. Look, miss, no hands.
I'm proud that nobody jumped on Bill Cosby. I'm proud no one took the law.
That's a layup, though.
And that's why I said I'm proud.
Full hearts, no consent.
Oh boy.
Oh man, there's so many endless routes. I can't wrap my head around them.
Miss, I'm a little tight in my upper thigh.
I'm stumped. There's just too many routes. My mind is in overdrive right now. Yeah, that too.
Don't overthink it. Fire them off because we're trying to get the nicknames here. Listen, it's like playing a game of whack-a-mole.
Big money. Stop.
I was gonna say also whacker racist, but I mean that one's too easy. I mean the jury's out if Mason Rudolph actually dropped an N-bomb or not, but I'm kind of thinking Myles Garrett never really had a temper issue before that, so maybe or after. I'm really thinking Mason did drop an N-bomb.
I don't know. He definitely said something.
To clarify, not our Mason.
Yeah, I was gonna say not Mason Ruck. No, that was not me.
No, Mason
The other
Rudolph,
Mason are.
named after a fucking reindeer. All right, I mean we got whack-a-mole was mine.
Jurassic Miles because he loves
Jurassic-
dinosaurs and paleontology.
Yeah, he's also the size of a fucking dinosaur.
He could probably kill a dinosaur with his bare hands if it got too close.
Also, he probably could rip the fucking backboard off of a basketball hoop like a dinosaur. All right, we only got a couple more of these left, guys. We're just going to go to the real comedic ones at this point. GTA Cincinnati.
Smoking Joe Mixon.
Smoking Joe Mixon.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
Oh man.
Equal swings, equal rights.
Jesus.
A little
This is so
throwback to
bad.
college right there.
Alec Baldwin.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I wish I was quick on my feet. That was good.
Fastest hands in Oklahoma.
Oh, you could just call him Adrian Peterson because he's a running back and you shouldn't allow your kids around him.
Come on.
Fair.
All right. Oh god, these are this segment went from like a tailspin to a nuclear bomb, and I don't want to.
Oh, I thought we can give him John Morant. Joe Mixon is John Morant.
John Morant didn't shoot at a child though. He just beat the
Okay,
shit
let's-
out of one.
Similarities, but big differences at the same time. I get
Oh
it.
my god. All right.
There's a parade inside my city, yeah.
All right. Speaking of clowns,
Charlie D'Amelio.
nice.
That's a good one.
Oh,
AJ Brown's bitch.
what the heck's the guy's name? Patrick Mahomes' brother. Can't think of his name.
Jackson
No,
Mahomes.
Jackson.
Yeah, he's Jackson Mahomes. Minus the the molestation on
Weinstein.
camera. Yes.
Fair enough. All right, I got one more. I got two more for y'all. Blue eyes, white privilege.
Hitler's wet dream.
God. What? I'm sorry. What? Where did that come from?
Just out of left field.
Look at Christian McCaffrey and tell me that doesn't line up.
I know.
Yeah,
it
he
makes sense.
literally
I
is what
just-
Hitler envisioned for the NFL.
And life in general.
Man, I was just gonna say physical therapy, but like I can't top fucking Hitler's wet dream.
All right. I had a
San
couple
Francisco's wet dream.
I don't know, man. Hitler
Yeah.
in San Francisco.
It's not as good as the other one.
Yeah.
But if
All
you
right.
know about the demographics of San Francisco.
Yeah. San Francisco is kind of yeah. All right. And finally, Dollar Store Mike Evans.
Hmm.
And if Beastie Boys was an NFL player.
The worst, Kelsey.
Thank you. I appreciate
Magic
that.
Mike played football. I think
I
Travis
fucking
Kelce
hate
would be
Travis
Channing
Kelsey.
Tatum.
So.
Didn't you draft him in our league?
Yes, I still hate him.
I couldn't do it. Like, I'm weird. I'm one of those guys who can't draft a player if I fucking hate his guts. Like, that's why I passed on these twice.
The drop off between tight end 1 and 2 is
Yeah, it's
Not pretty.
astronomical. Speaking of drop off, has anybody seen these new Detroit Lions helmets?
Oh God.
All
Very
right,
bad.
so we're not going to pull it up for violating NFL copyright agreements, but we'll share it obviously on our Twitter account. Blue helmet. Also, I want to comment on the fact that they try to get Aiden Hutchinson looking like a tough guy, and he looks like a pissed off 15-year-old. My man's got to grow some fucking facial hair at this point. Like I can't take him seriously. He looks like Hitler's wet dream. Like my boy is too clean shaven, blonde hair. I'm like, bro, you got to put some hair in that face.
That helmet. So I would say I like the color scheme of the helmet. I mean, I like the baby blue and the white. That you can't go wrong with that color scheme. I like the stripes. It gives it a muscle car look. Detroit with GMC, Chrysler, and everything. So it makes sense. They really throw me off with the 5-year-old drawing of this Lions logo that they got on there. I don't know where they've constructed this, whatever that is. But it just throws it all off for me because now it looks like a semi nice alternative helmet with like a 3-year-old's drawing is just right on the top, as if some kid just submitted that, got bullied, and they wound up making T-shirts of it to make him feel better, kind of thing. Like I don't know what that was, but that's my only knock on the helmet is I just don't like the logo on it.
Also, the number of people though who don't realize that this is a throwback logo. This was their main logo for a
like
while.
a decade. It was a decade.
Yeah.
It was the 60s, I believe.
61 to 70.
I also love that the Eagles, even though it got leaked, have not released their throwback unis yet.
Yeah, my one issue with the Lions helmet though is I don't know what color they would have done because it wouldn't look good with black, but I don't like how there's one blue and one gray stripe and the helmet's the same color as the blue stripe. That bothers the shit out of me.
And they have like a white outline, but it's not as prominent, I don't believe.
Like
I didn't find the picture.
It's a tough helmet to execute.
This is going to be with their all gray uniforms, right? I see what you're saying. It is the thinnest of a white outline of that blue stripe to where it just almost looks like it's the piece of tape you just ripped off rather than a stripe.
Yeah, and they couldn't do white because of those outlines and the lion. I don't think black would look good.
Not with the gray uniforms, if that's what they're wearing them with. Yeah, because if you do the gray helmet, then it just blends in with the entire uniform.
Yeah.
All right, then maybe just get rid of the stripes and figure something else out.
So,
it just needs a little something.
I was holding this segment in my back pocket for a rainy day, but I feel like right now it works because we got some comedic genius on this show right now.
It is raining.
So me and Matt talked about this already. So the shout out to the Kelsey brothers with the New Heights podcast did their alcoholic beverages quarterbacks. We're gonna do something like that, except we're gonna do have our own list. They really went weird. They went like obscure with players. They named drinks and they named quarterbacks that are equivalent. We're gonna name quarterbacks and players in the NFL. And we're gonna say what they are as an alcoholic beverage. So we'll start off first with Christian McCaffrey, Bud Light. Political jokes aside, Bud Light. It's popular. It's well known. It's quick and easy to put down. To me, Christian McCaffrey is a Bud Light.
I mean, the problem is Bud Light's boring. Bud Light's not that good. It's generic. None of which I would use to describe Christian McCaffrey.
I'm going to say Christian. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
I would say he's an apple martini. He seems very simple, but at the same time, so complex and just works.
Apple martini, I love it.
I like that one more.
I mean, he's from the West Coast, so I'd probably say some kind of IPA, something like that. Definitely not Bud. Definitely not Bud Light.
Like a Stone IPA, like something like a little fancier.
Yeah, like a Lagunitas, if you know what that is. That's from California.
I know what Lagunitas is. That's a Chicago beer, but I'll take it.
I'm gonna say he's like a summer shandy. Whenever he's in season, everybody loves to go and grab it off the shelf. So when he's in football season, everybody loves him and wants to grab him in the first round of playoffs. But then once he's out of season, nobody really gives a shit about it, and then they just put it on the shelf and they go back to it. And that's when he usually gets hurt. You don't hear from him for about 5 weeks. So he's an in the moment kind of beer. I think he's a shandy, something that comes out seasonal that everybody goes for.
Steel Reserve. 12% comes in a tin and is a lot to stomach.
I would say he's Everclear. He's a headache.
Four Loko, how about that? The originals.
That's why I have for Travis Kelce. By the way, I have had an original Four Loko. I'm old enough to have had one of those. That was brutal.
I'm gonna say he's like Smirnoff. He gets the job done with whatever you need him for, but if he's not your first choice.
And he's also like in fantasy, not your first choice, but also, you're gonna like Smirnoff. You're gonna regret it after it happens.
I could have went
Colt
Svedka, but that was
45.
mean.
Nice. All right. I gotta do it.
He's a fucking Seagram wine cooler. No
gonna go
explanation.
Malibu.
No explanation needed.
Malibu Bay
A
Breeze.
seltzer of some kind.
He's a truly.
Yeah. All right.
What's an alcohol that screams I can't make up my mind because I want out and then I want back in?
A bourbon
Long Island
barrel
iced
stout.
tea.
That's perfect. Not you,
Yes.
the Long Island iced tea guy.
Timo is so.
It's
not
mixing a
Buffalo
bunch of
Trace.
stuff together. He can do a lot. 1 minute you love him, the next minute you hate him.
Which makes complete sense because 1 minute you love drafting him in fantasy, and the next minute you like make a trade for him, then he's misses 3 weeks and you don't get into the playoffs because of him, and then you just regret all of your decisions. That was me last year.
Roofies.
Green vodka.
Whatever the fuck me and Matt were drinking at that Jets Eagles game 10 years ago.
Couldn't even tell you.
I think that was Ciroc mixed with orange juice.
Whatever it was, all I know it was in a water bottle, and I don't know what was in it. I gave him grain vodka because it's the strongest shit that I could think of, and it'll get the job done quicker, make life a lot easier. So that would be for him.
I was gonna say overproof rum because my boy used to call those Bill Cosby's. He was a sick individual.
We'll go with Nikolai.
Nice. All right.
What do we got with this? Yingling. Just comes to mind.
I was gonna say like some like craft beer from Long Trail Ale, super earthy, crunchy, like a little bit of an acquired taste. Very nice, northeastern, northwestern, midwestern base. You really don't get in the Southwest or in the South. Very good. But also you have to be definitely an acquired taste. Like Long Trail Ale. Imagine a Budweiser with a really caramel finish, but also has like, you got to keep drinking it and then chase it with water. Because if that's the last thing you drink for a while, you're going to be tasting it for an hour.
I don't know why this makes sense to me, but I saw this TikTok video where this guy, I think I just got timed out.
I can hear you.
Back. There we go. All right. I was watching this TikTok video, and this guy's trying a bunch of beers. He's like from Germany. He's like, I want to know what American beer is all about. He tries like a Bud Light, a Bud Heavy. He tries a Miller and a Busch, and the guy's like, these are all disgusting. I don't understand it. Then he gets a Yingling, and he pours it, and he admires the look of the ale and the sip and the taste and everything. And he was like, this is a good beer. This is what I would drink if I was in America. I don't know why. Aaron Rodgers to me just looks like a Yingling kind of a guy. This just screams, I put in a hard day's work. I want something that I'm going to be able to taste what I'm drinking and not just fucking suck it down like water.
Fair. Yeah, Miller High Life.
Coors Light.
I like Coors Light better. I didn't want to insult the greatness of Miller Lite with this, so.
I think he's kind of a Bush guy, to be honest with you.
I was thinking Bush would be more like Josh Allen.
That's fair.
I feel like I'm going to just give this guy Rolling Rock because he's not anybody's first, second, or third choice. But it's just if you got a lot of people over and you want to just have something to please everybody and get it out of the fridge, you just give them all the Rolling Rocks.
New Amsterdam, because you're going to black out.
This is where you put the Four Loko because 1 minute he's going into it, the next minute he's like, I have no idea what happened last night. Fucking
Jungle Juice.
Gotta give him good shit.
Yeah.
Give him the fucking $100 bottle of like Hennessy VSOP.
Fair enough. Jalen Hurts, I'm gonna say like 45-year-old aged like bourbon.
I'm gonna give him like Casamigos, like one of those like.
He's
aged.
a Texas boy. Don't insult him like that.
Excuse me.
Cracking.
I don't want to hear no clear. Texas is a whiskey state. Stop your shit until you get to closer to El Paso. Then it becomes tequila.
See, he's like, he can do it all himself and he can do it all with the help of others. But like, I just think of like, you go to the tequila aisle, you want something that's going to give you a nice kick, but you got to go to the sliding door section where all the bottles are start at $100 and go up. I think that's going to be Jalen.
Fair enough. All right. I think we've had enough of the NFL liquors. All right. So I'll ask you boys this. Out of all the players I named tonight, what was your, like, the big, like, the one you, like, it was just right there, snap decision, you knew exactly what they were? I mean, I feel like it's got to be. I feel like Deshaun Watson was the layup here.
That was obviously easy. I don't know why Aaron Rodgers came to me that quickly. Watson was a pretty easy layup. So was Mahomes and everything.
Oh, that CMC was pretty easy too.
I fumbled that bag almost as bad as I fumbled the whole nickname segment. All right. Well, listen, the draft is kicked off. Nobody's been drafted yet, but we all know where Frank's going, obviously. I'm going to let y'all go. A little shorter episode today, obviously. We appreciate y'all for stopping by. Shout out to our sponsors, Cannadips and YeatsOfficial.com, Seatgeek, and Mahler Bros. DJ, where can we find your amazing content? You and your boy Kel.
You can catch us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else. You can also follow us on all social medias, high_low_sports as well. So catch us Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, even sometimes. So anywhere you find stuff, you'll find us there.
There you go. All right. And you can find me, Matt, and the fellas at all places Korner Booth Pod. Check us out on all social medias, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of it there. You can check Kevin out on Quad Tailgate and Belly Up Kev. He is currently indisposed at the moment. We will appreciate y'all for stopping by. Not our, best show. Tried a segment, didn't work. Fuck it. It's what experiment. That's what the off season's for. We will be doing a 4th of July-ish show next week, next Thursday. I appreciate y'all for coming through. And enjoy your week, fellas.
Dilly dilly.
Dilly dilly.